Oh. Hello, everyone. My name is Jason, and it is Thursday, February 27th, 2020. It's 19:16 hours, or 7:16 p.m. In a strange mood. Very strange. I'm not there, I'm not here, somewhere in between. I've been trying to pace myself since Monday, since finally feeling better, and I'm doing okay with learning how to pace. Everything from little things stupid that I used to do without thinking. Like, for example, I'm always in this perpetual rush. I don't know what it is. It's some invisible thing always making me like, fuck, come on, the world's cracking. So ever since, I've been on my own again, after the divorce and all that, I don't do anything normal. Like, I don't sit down and eat dinner with anyone or at a regular time or anything. I'm only bringing this up because there's just one little thing that has become a pain in the ass problem to me, and it's something that normal people do without thinking, and that is sitting. Just sit down when you eat. Sit down, take a minute, breathe, relax, plan. I'm just always, and I'm I'm starting to get used to now the fact that, okay, nobody gives a fuck about me. It's just given, but it's like, like extra, out there. I don't know, maybe it's with the age, you get older. So I'm doing, and I know it's going to take a little while for me to break some of these hyper habits I had of, constantly standing when I eat, or we eat and we work on stuff while I'm eating, or swallow the food real quick, and within 10 seconds I'm up, washing my dishes, doing everything, on to the next thing, giving myself no time to digest. And just up and around. And then I wonder, like, fuck, I feel like shit after a while. So I've been, every time I eat now this week, I ground myself. I put myself on a timeout for at least 5 minutes, just to sit there and digest if I can. And then when I get up, and this has been, a big help. It's changed, and I wish I would have done it earlier, years ago. Everything from when I wake up in the morning, get out of bed, or anytime, just getting out of bed, maybe take a piss or something, or getting up. I used to be like, fucking Flash Gordon or something, without all my moves. And I started to realize that's not good for you. Your body doesn't like that. So now what I do, I say I wake up in the morning, sleep. Oh, when I get my 10 minutes of sleep, and instead of doing the, getting up thing, I wake up and make myself go slow. Sit down, this on the edge of the bed, breathe around, and then I rise, slow and like controlled movements. Try not to be so goddamn hyper, because I have found it is a very bad killer and waste sucker of good energy. And now I know that, and I have so much I have to do. I need every little thing on my side that I possibly can. Every little advantage, and at the same time, I need to eliminate every and all negative things or bad behaviors or bad habits and just wipe them out completely, because that's it. I've had it. I'm done with being so fucking, how do you say it? So, half-assed, basically. Not managing not only managing time, but managing my energy. My energy and everything. I was looking at it, and another good thing that's coming out of making all these tapes and YouTube, and now I love doing it. It's fun and stuff, and since I don't have, production team yet working for me, I can't be like one of these other fucking prima donna fucking people, actors. They come in and sit. All they have to do is come and sit. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Oh, do this for me. Spoon feed the little fucking shitty fucking celebrities. I gotta be more than a better friend to best friend to myself. I've got to be everything, all the time to myself and to what I want to do. I only slept about, I don't know, 3.5 hours last night. Still all right though. But I'm still, someone said to me a couple of days ago, why you always, have that frown on your face? Why do you always look so intense? Like it's you're like at war or something, all the time. And I almost started to, I know this person means by their friend, but I almost started, and I think, oh, that's not worth it. Like this whole, well, because it is, and completely, I said, I thought about it. You're right. I got a lot of pressure always, but I guess I like the pressure, and there's just a lot of things I want to do. I want to get done. I want to get up and going and started and projects, and that doesn't matter how well I do anything. If I do anything well, when you're completely on your own and you are so cut off from every, in a way, everyone and everything, it's very easy to fall inside your head, me fall inside my thoughts, my mind, and a lot of times, it's not good to be too much like that, so that's why I need distractions and all that. I'm better at it now, as far as keeping myself on an even keel most of the time of the day, because I know there's things I have to do. If I don't get them done, the pressure's going to be more or whatever. And so, like, one is the weights, hitting the gym. I was busy with things this afternoon and private lessons and stuff, and I couldn't go to the gym early like I like, so now I gotta wait till like fucking 9 o'clock when it's not so busy. But it's just, there's so many things that, not only I want to do, but there's so many things still working against me, or that I still have to figure out a way to get through on my own with, I don't like asking people for help at all, unless I really have to. And I also, another thing too, I used to get, so angry and furious at, people I know are ex fucking, what's the word for it? What's that word? Just ex associations of people. And I would use that anger from them that, they made me feel whatever, and I thought that was good, and I would take that and apply that into whatever work I'm doing and getting a little bit. That's okay, but that's not a good, advisable, sustainable source of good energy. It's not. Trust me, I've used it. Bottom line gets down to it. I've seen now, they're getting angry at certain people, certain things, and hating them and holding this grudge. I've seen now it's not worth it, unless it's something, really that you have to war with this person. But for the most part, like all the people when I write about it, it's getting it out. I don't stay on that feeling it used to, but when you hate someone or something too much, well, first of all, it sucks because you're giving too much of yourself to them, to the person, to the thing anyway. So much of your energy you could be thinking or doing something else. I'm giving into the weakness. I'm being weak by when I used to let my anger and everything just go and not even try and justify it. You're giving too much of yourself. It's not worth it. And when I saw those two conclusions, boom! Now it's like really control well of it. Getting back to the person, why you always look like you're about to freak out at any second. It's just the way my face sits on my skull at the age of 48 here. I can't help it. I've got bags under my eyes like crazy. I've had that forever though. I said, don't look at me. What can I say? I have a lot on my mind, a lot of pressure, a lot of things I want to accomplish and do. And this year, I feel it gelling. I thought I was going to be able to go to open mic tonight, but no, I couldn't do it with the running around, the privates, and everything else. And I'm really, I'm just like right now, a lot of the times when I have that kind of look on my face, it's not really always because I'm just perpetually mad for no reason and stuff. Now that my mind is clear, everything, I don't have any drama or bullshit with any old friends or anything, and waste phone, none of that. And I got used to the loneliness per se, and I'm keeping it, refining myself and all that, and keeping this, managed. So I hopefully when I do meet a woman, a woman who likes me or is attracted to me, and not afraid of me or my videos, or see the videos and say, oh, that's how you are all the time. You're not okay. Believe everything you see. It's art, and it's getting it out. But I know I'll meet someone. I can feel it, and I'm just tending to everything. So when I do meet this next person, this next relationship I'll have, I think it's going to be the last one, because now I'm matured in that way, and I guess I'm going to have to wait for some woman to take a chance on me, I say take a chance, you know, like some of the, you know, just so damn, you know, they appearances, and you know, they look, oh, afraid he must be not whatever, you know, no. But, you know, I'm like so opposite of so many things, you know. So I'm not going to be a fucking dysfunctional, confused fuck, you know, when I meet a woman, you know, I'm like gonna like value, you know, things I never valued before in other relationships, all of them, from marriage up to now, you know, like now I would value, now I see, like, say, okay, I'm working, I'm doing my stuff, and I can tend to just turn the ringer off and just go for hours and hours, or keep doing it and doing it, and you know, I definitely miss one aspect of some of the relationships I would have when, you know, a couple of the girlfriends I've had, both divorced, who were good, a few of them, and they would like generally care about me, like, you know, oh, what are you doing? Oh, they didn't hear from me. They don't get mad at me. They don't think I'm ignoring them. They know he's out, you know, doing his thing, and you know, I mean, check on him, you know. Hey, oh, just what? You're still doing that? It's been 6 hours now, you know, or something. Why don't you stop? And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, and you know, and then I stop, and in the past I would look at that as a pain in the ass, intrusive. You're bugging me. You're fucking crowding me. You're not letting me do what I want to do. That kind of shit I was, you know, and. But, you know, it's gonna be cool. I'm looking forward to if the relationship, I'm looking forward to talking to someone a couple times a day, you know, checking in here, there, you know, and all that. Because so right now, in this new life of mine that I've made, the one and only problem I'm having, and there's nothing I can do about it, you know, it's nothing physical or nothing. One problem I'm having is I'm still, I don't answer to anyone, you know. I don't have what's the word for it, you know, like I don't have any kind of, I want to say, I don't have any fucking brains, you know. I don't have any, what is that word? I don't have, all right, fuck it, I'll use different words. I don't have any regular interactions, engagements, you know, with anyone or anything. So that just leaves me to me, you know, and my kids are in Tom's River. I don't see them that often. When I'm with them, it's different, you know. I get to get out of Jason, but so when I'm like this, I have no one to answer to, you know, no one to fucking worry about eating with or not, eat when I'm hungry, what I want, and come and go. So basically, it's like it's almost too much freedom, you know. It's, you know, by answering to no one or not giving a fuck about what anyone thinks, I just burn off Jason energy, you know, constant, and getting a lot done, you know, but it does get frustrating because, like, for example, right now, I planned for today several projects, and it's not flowing the way I want. Okay, so let me get back to this. I did enough of my soap opera whining, but hey, I gotta talk to someone. This is my journal entry. So what's on deck for tonight, after the gym probably, or maybe in a little while, maybe I'll eat something and then I'll eat some. I'll read one of them and then go to the gym. So the main things what I'm going to be doing tonight is I want to one, start reading. I found a full copy of it, of one of them. I found in all my things. This is not missing one page, and it's all of 2001 journal. So I will start reading this, either a part one. I'll definitely not finish it. So part one, read part one of this tonight, and then this other idea I've had for a while, and now I'm finally getting to it. Because I love books, I love reading, learning that way, and I just always will. So I'm going to read some of my favorite books. I'll put on video. I keep burping because there's nothing in my stomach. I haven't eaten. I'm only eating twice a day. I got to eat my second meal soon. So I'm going to do Musashi, the Book of Five Rings. The first one I'm going to read on video. And this is made up of 5 parts. The Book of Earth, Book of Wind, the Book of Earth, Water, Wind, and Fire. So 4 books, and then the Book of Nothing. All right, and this is like up there with Sun Tzu, Art of War. The book, Miyamoto Musashi was the sword saint of Japan. All right, true story, samurai. I love it. He was cool. He was a rogue. True. He had no school, had no teacher, taught himself, came up with his own style, fighting with 2 swords back then, and he was fucking invincible, pretty much. I think it was 1594 to 16 something. I think, in my little shitty memory. But it was back then, and the story of this book is, so he was about 60, I think, or older. No, he had 60 duels. He was. Why do I have to be so exact with every information I get? I could have said 74, 18, 12, 193. It doesn't matter. And then I stop what I'm doing because I have to go get that little exact fucking information. I don't know why I'm like that. All right, so what? And he later older. Let me just forget about the age. What he did was he fought 60 duels and killed 60 men in 60 duels, sword fighting back then, 1-on-1. They would do it, and he killed 60. He survived 60 duels. He won. One of the duels, he even killed the other guy, who was a sword guy too, waiting. They would do it, I guess, like, Old West draw, and they planned the fight and all that. He killed him with a wooden Bakken, a wooden training sword. All right, paint mine black. This is bamboo. I don't know. It's a shinai, wooden training sword. So he went up against a guy, the real sword, something like this, and he killed him. He survived 6 war battles. Back then, it wasn't war like we have it here. It's more like the Braveheart type of thing, where they had all the army in one side, and you fight like that, and then boom, it's over, and there's the winner, is the battle, and all that. Musashi fought in 6 of them and survived. And when I was watching a program about it on TV, they said usually most men back then, lucky if they survived 1, maybe 2, and that was it. So he 60 1-on-1 duels that he won to the death, one with the wooden sword, taught himself, wandered the Japan by himself around, doing all these duels, learning everything, and then when he was all done, let's just say the 60s, whatever, he went into the mountains and found a cave or something, and he lived there for I don't know how long, but I know he went up there, and then he specifically, and he isolated himself in the woods, and he wrote this book. He wrote the Book of Five Rings up in the mountains, reflecting on his life and of strategy and sword fighting and everything else. But the sword fighting is the uniform language of what he was doing. But this is a book of strategy, more than just for physical fighting. It's great. I love it. And like I said, it's in the 5 different fucking book of earth, water, fire, wind, and then the void, or the book of nothing. And it's cool. Each book, it's not like a regular book where it's a story and each chapter. No, it's like my style. It's like a different books and just put them together. It's like so. In each book, example. I hope you'll watch this later. It's really good. I'm not going to be able to read the whole thing because I get into it, so I'm going to do one book at a time. But so let me just go random here. So let's see, where are we? What did I open up to? The Book of Fire. All right. So the Book of Fire, all right, tells it, and then there's like every page or two is a topic, like the place from which you fight, and then he writes 3 strategies to control the enemy. Next one, the first, control of the enemy. Third, control of the enemy. To suffocate the enemy with a pillow. Knowing the right time. Step on the enemy's sword. Some of these are only like a paragraph. Some of them are longer. So here, I'll give you a example. It's not too short. This one's not too long. Okay. All right, this is out of the Book of Fire. Crush the enemy's spirit. Go ahead, Jake. Go ahead, Jason. Fucking prove everything to them. Go ahead. Before you read it, make sure you approve, because everyone's fucking doubting you, right? You crazy fuck. You always think that. Okay, so I have Book of Earth. There we go. See, a Book of Earth, water, fire, wind, nothing. Okay. So, let's end this little journal. All right. Crush the enemy's body and spirit. That's kind of cool. And yeah, all right. So I'll give a little sample. Oh, I'm thirsty. I just lose the fucking page. Oh, fuck, I was open this one randomly. It's a short one. This is out of the Book of Water. One little thing. Being tenacious in your bearing. Stay with the enemy and do not follow him to force any distance. Do not allow him to force any distance between you. For this generally gives the enemy room to maneuver and a chance to bring about a successful counterstrike against you. Do not permit yourself to lose your composure. Do not permit the enemy to separate from you. Do not permit yourself to grapple with the enemy, for this becomes a contest of strength and may prevent you from performing with conviction to slay the enemy with one stroke. Now I want to read another one. Okay. All right, that's it, last little thing. All right, here's this is just a clip out of a part of the Book of Earth. The meaning of the 5 parts of this book of strategy. The name of this book is Five Rings. Buddhist teachings contain the five elements of the universe: earth, water, fire, wind, and no-thingness. In the Book of Earth, the strategy of my school is explained. You are being told the reasons for my writings as well as their structure. You must not depend on understanding your art only by studying the one art with which you are involved. It is difficult to understand the universe if you study only one planet. One must be aware of all of the arts by becoming familiar with many of them, as part of one's complete devotion to one of them. Endeavor to know all things. Though you cannot ever do this, you will become more aware of the world around you, an essential strategy if you choose to be a warrior. In the Book of Water, I explain that water fills all shapes and eventually wears down any form of captivity. I clearly explain what my school proposes for the study of strategy. There are many ways of understanding simple things, but generally the opposite is true for difficult ones. Ideas. Study what I say with the desire to understand my way of strategy. When you have mastered the basics of sword fighting, you will be able to beat one man or many men. The result would be the same if you were fighting a countless horde, so long as your strength remained with you. The amount of strength you have depends upon the training and practice you have put into your art. It is important to remember that all things can only be built from the ground up, and in one stage at a time. Spirit is the thing that must be concentrated upon. To know 10,000 things, know one well. It is difficult to understand these ideas broadly through the use of words. The realities are mostly intuitive. The proper attitude of spirit must be constantly studied. The Book of Water explains the specifics and particulars of my school. That's Japanese for number one. It's number one. 2010. The Book of Fire is about fighting. When a man fights in real combat, his spirit becomes fierce. There is a time for the spirit to be large and a time for the spirit to be small. In order to be able to determine the possible outcomes of combat situations, you must constantly maintain the proper attitude by practicing diligently. You can only fight the way you practice. By maintaining the proper attitude, you will always practice diligently with the proper spirit and ensure your ability to become that much stronger. Through practice, you will be able to properly maintain yourself at all times. It is hard to perceive small movements in an enemy, but it is easy to see large movements in many men. When studying the art of strategy, it is necessary to practice day and night. I cannot stress this enough. You will come to realize what I am saying as the way to strategy. Your normal life must be a life of strategy. I concur, I agree. Full combat in battle is explained in this book. Your spirit must remain unchanged as long as you study, as long as you live the warrior life. The Book of Wind concerns itself with strategies and teachings of other schools and the traditions of the past. There are obvious differences, and there are differences that are not so easy to ascertain. One must be careful not to study traditional methods that diverge from the true meaning of the path. I make the differences very clear and easy to understand. A slight error in judgment while at sea can throw you miles off course. You must constantly study your way to ensure that you do not lose your way. That's great. You must constantly study your way to ensure you do not lose your way. You know, so many people, like the one student, I had many students, people too, over the years I've seen just training martial arts, is that ego and the know-it-allness. Like, okay, they learn something, and that's it. They think they got it forever, and okay, teach me something new. I just mimed it. I just mimicked it. Yeah, that's it. But you don't know it. You know it when you do it with your eyes closed, backwards. You know, no sleep or whatever. I mean, big difference. I used to, when I was, teaching publicly on, on an open school to the public on the main avenue, all that, I took it very serious, and I really took it upon me whether it was, kids or teenagers or even adults, if they weren't getting something, even though they say they got it, but I could watch them, I could see, I know they don't have it, they're not confident in whatever, and I would give everything in mind, everything I could do to get them to see it, because I saw it as a reflection on me. I always did that. Anyone I'm teaching or instructing for a while, I can't not help but think that, they're my responsibility as far as their fighting capabilities and defending themselves when they're, on their own and stuff. And I always saw that as, that's a huge responsibility. And I'm training as such, because if they say they get out in the street and they get into a fight and get beat up, or they get assaulted and they get beat up, and they're like, oh, you trained? Like, who the fuck's your teacher? Like, I always had that in my mind. I was like afraid of that, like, oh, it could kill me. I couldn't deal with that. So I would always go above and beyond every single student to make sure they knew what I was showing them, at least in front of me anyway, they knew it. And, one good, because it's so easy in martial arts to fucking take people who are eyed, teach them fucking shit that is just useless, but it looks like it's useful. And it happens a lot. I used to have to try to point it out anymore. Now I'm just quiet about it. Fuck it, who cares? It's just, well, it's not me, anything I'm involved with. So by doing that, though, with all my students, I'm proud to say it's one of the things I'm most proud of. My handful of other things I'm proud of in life, this is one of them. And people are probably like, what's wrong with you? I've never had one student, going back all the way to when I was an underbelt and I was instructing the teacher for as a black belt. I've never had one get beat up or lose a fight or anything like that. Not one. On the contrary, all the ones that did get into fights, a few adults, a bouncer on this, and a few other adult and teenager guys, they all won their fights. And it's cool, because I would get a call, or they come see me and they're all like happy. Guess what happened? It happened like you said you did, this and that. And that's good, and I feel, I'm there. I've done my job. They pay me to do that, and I make them fucking fierce beyond, and I work them hard. And I have not had once, like I said, even women. There are a few women who had to use their shit stuff. I taught them, and they came back to me and went buy me lunch one day because got out of this guy grabbed. Anyway, let me get back to this. It was something he said though. About the way you fight, the way you train, that type of thing. You must constantly study. Okay, it is very easy to be sidetracked from the direct method. You must understand what I'm talking about when the differences between the first school and others are explained. It is not wrong to think that methods that teach only sword fighting are incorrect, but the advantage of its school's style of two-sword fighting lies in its mental and physical technique. To learn technique is essential. However, strategic thinking has its own principles, and they can be applied to anything that has to do with war and combat. In this way, its school breaks from traditional teaching. It is easy to understand the first 4 books of the 5 Rings. Introductory remarks concerning the outline of 5 books should be understood upon simple review. Nothing profound is revealed in the introduction. The basic idea of the way of strategy is the attitude of being or not being, and will be expanded upon. However, in the book of Nothingness, you will learn the way of strategy is also the way of nature, and there is no difference except for what we ourselves conceive or misconceive as truth. When you understand the way of strategy, you will be able to hit a man without a thought, in a completely natural manner. There is a sound approach to understanding the entire subject. The Book of Nothingness is also the shortest of the written tracts, and it ends at the same time both simple and difficult to comprehend. So that was out of the Book of Earth. That was one of the last things in the Book of Earth. So I'm going to be doing that tonight. All right, we'll finally get to it. It's kind of good I did that. Got a little warm up for into it again. So look for that video. And what I said. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm gonna second video. So this will be my third journal that I have up on my channel. I have the Senkai one, 1993, as my first journal ever. In '93, I was like a purple belt or a green belt or something when I started writing that. I was 21 when I started that first journal. That's Senkai. No, that's War Child. That was the War Child. No, it was Senkai. Senkai is the first journal I put out. And then War Child was the second one, 1995-96 journal, the year I lived underneath the second school I was partners in, and also the year I tested for my black belt, and also my big little changed me for life those 10 months. And this is the third one. This is the year 2001, and it's very poignant years for me. I started my first journal entry was January 3rd, 2001, 12:18 a.m. And then I kept this journal all the way. I wish I do this every year. Good boy. All the way to December 31st, 2001, when 16. Of all the years, and then that's what it ends. All the years, 2001, 9/11. Also, the first year I was a father, first time, in my life. I was raising my daughter. She stayed home with me that year instead of going to preschool with my ex-wife, where I'm home. Why are you going to pay? I didn't open up the school till 5 o'clock every night. So I was Mr. Mom during the day and learning, changing diapers, all that. So close to my daughter, so bad. And a lot of this was written while she was in a crib or whatever. And then I made the book. So this will be the third one, okay, which is basically the first 10 years of my adult life, from 1993 to 2003. Although even though this was 2001, the time I made it was 2003. But it spans me from as a white belt, 1993. What the fuck I wanted to do with my life or anything. I had no skills, nothing. I started martial arts, a white belt, and I wanted to get a black belt, have my own school, and do this for life. But I knew after the first class I took. And so these three journals document pretty much that whole trip, and I did do it. I actually pulled it off. I started training in 91, July 2nd, 1991. I got my black belt in 1996. Just plain black belt, no bands or nothing. And then in 2001, I had my own school, my own storefront, a major thing, teaching my own curriculum, my style, based on the pattern of how I learned in this university. And I did all of it, it's been crazy, it's weird, and I'm glad I kept the journals. So that's what this encapsulates, all three of those journals. And then I have my other thing, all my other journals and writing I'm curious to reread and look at the journal I had from the year I got divorced, the first year after being divorced. That was crazy. I'm almost afraid to look at that. But all right, in here, so that's one video. So there's the Musashi book I'm doing. My second journal. And thirdly is I'm not gonna get it. I spent a lot of time last night, fucking late, so going through finding all my writing pieces, all my little poems, everything I wrote. So all this shit it took me hours. Yeah, five piles, and I'm making them legible, neat, and I'm gonna pick like probably maybe 100 of them or something, best ones that I like, and that is what I'm gonna do, is to send in and to make my first book, a real book this year. That's I'm throwing it down. None of this bullshit. My little homemade. My little homemade books. They're fun and stuff, but I don't have time for it too much. I'm just gonna pay it. They're done, and it's just gonna be no journal entries. Not just gonna be my favorite writing pieces. And in my mind, all goes well. I get them for 48-hour books, and with real books with real binding and ISBN number, and probably sell them for maybe $10 or something. Maybe I can figure out PayPal or whatever, how that works, and maybe I can find folks, can buy my books through PayPal. I'll mail it to you and all that. That's the other one for. And last one, I won't be getting to it today, but this week came up last night. I'll show you. Like my little stationery, my tattoo. What I'm gonna do is I want to do vital vocabulary for a vicious, correct vernacular. I was just going through the dictionary. So I do that every day. I'm bored. So dictionary. I sit there. That's what that fucking means. That's how you spell that word. And then I always look for like a weird word that I never heard or saw before, and try to figure it out. Look what I open up to: fanatical person. Okay, hello. And so those are the things. So I started it last night. How many words I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I'll just give you guys it all. All right, this one I've never heard of. Hope I'm spelling it right. Do you know what sanguinary means? Sanguinary? I'll pronounce it correct. Sanguinary? Of or with bloodshed. Bloodthirsty. Another weird. You know what bedraggled means? Bedraggled. Wet and dirty mess. Okay. Salubrious. I am very fucking salubrious. Healthful means healthful. I don't know what else. Like a juggernaut. I like that. Relentless, irresistible force. Oh, here's the one where I thought was funny and cool last night. That made me do all this. Objectar. Objectiart. That's exactly how it's spelled. You know what it is? It's a small object of artistic value. I have fun with the fucking dictionary. It happened by default years and years ago, and then I've always been doing it ever since. I like this one. Do you know what sans mean? Sans? All the food I eat now, I eat it sans condiments, without. Alright, what's my last fucking word? Precipitate. That precipitate, bring on, hasten, scroll down. Oh, here it is. Curmudgeon. Some people say I'm a curmudgeon. It's a cantankerous person, grouch. And here's one that if you don't know, like, you ever hate when someone uses a word and don't know what it is and kind of try to pretend you know, embarrassed. I don't do that anymore. They say it right away, whether it's a job, anyone, like, I don't know what that means. What is that? Handful of times, people don't know themselves. They just use words because they know what they sound like. They don't know what they fucking mean. Isn't that lame? All right, here. Pragmatic. A noun. It's practical. And with that, I'm going to pragmatically shut my fucking mouth. Get a little bite to eat. Go to the gym, get to work, and do calls and answer some texts. The other thing too, I stopped pretty much. I don't even look at my text or the phone or anything. Usually until like after 8 at night. I try not to because I don't want to be distracted of too much going on. You know, if I know, but I'll do it. It's not like I avoid it, but it's just a habit now. I don't even look at the phone. I don't unless I need to use it. And I will see you later. Time is now 20:07 hours, 8:07 p.m. Thursday night. My name is Jason. How come nobody subscribes to me? You know, I look at that. I'm starting to fixate on it, and I don't want to. But I'm just like, oh, you know, why doesn't, you know, I mean, it's free, right? You don't have to pay to subscribe. But I just can't do that. So please, don't forget to do this. So it's almost, I like get offended. I watch a channel and right out of the bat, before they even show the video, they're giving me a fucking order, telling me to fucking subscribe, telling me to do this. I don't like that. It offends me. All right. May the force be with you.